Welcome to the Unova region, a land far across the ocean where towering cities meet the untamed wild. Here, truth battles ideals, and legends wake from a deep slumber. Our story begins with a victory. A tiny Victini appears for a moment, granting infinite energy to the one who spots it. A Snivy crosses its arms, looking down on its opponent with superior intelligence. A Servine slides through the grass, hiding in the shadows to whip its prey. A Regal Serparier stops an opponent with just a glare, its solar energy at maximum. A Tepeg sniffs for berries, blowing smoke from its nose when it finds a treat. A Pignite flexes its muscles, its internal fire burning hotter the more it eats. A massive Embor sets its fists on fire, using its beard of flames to intimidate rivals. An Oshawott clutches the Skalkop on its belly, ready to detach it like a sword. A Duat practices its dual-wielding technique, flowing like water with every slash. A Samurott draws its scimitars in the blink of an eye, silencing the enemy instantly. A Patrat stands guard for days, storing food in its cheeks so it never has to leave its post. A Watchog creates luminescent patterns with its body, confusing predators in the dark. A Lillipup yaps bravely, using the long hair on its face to detect subtle radar changes. A loyal Herdier follows its trainer's orders perfectly, its black cape fur hard as rock. A wise Stoutland rescues a traveler in a blizzard, its thick fur protecting them from the cold. A Purloin acts cute to lower your guard, stealing your wallet the moment you look away. A Lippard vanishes into the night, striking silently from behind before disappearing again. A Pansage collects berries in the forest, sharing them kindness to heal tired friends. A Simisage swings its thorn-covered tail, fighting wildly to protect its tree. A Pansiar lives near volcanoes, eating berries that it roasts with its own fire. A Simisear scatters embers from its head, getting excited as the temperature rises. A Panpour stores water in its hair tuft, watering plants in a dry environment. A Simipour shoots a high-pressure water jet from its tail, slicing through a brick wall. A Muna floats near a sleeping person, eating their nightmare to leave a pink mist behind. A Musharna sleeps in the air, the smoke from its head taking the shape of the dream it ate. A Pedove flocks in the park, too forgetful to remember its own trainer's commands. A Tranquil flies swiftly, able to find its nest, no matter how far it travels. A male Unfizant displays its pink mask, trying to impress the female with a proud dance. A Blitzel recharges its mane during a thunderstorm, communicating with others by flashing lights. A Zebstrika runs at lightning speed, its hoofbeats sounding like crashing thunder. A Roggenrola searches for energy, hearing sounds with its hexagonal ear. A Boldor walks back and forth, its orange crystals glowing as its power builds up. A Gegalith absorbs solar rays, firing a blast of pure energy from its core. A Woobat sucks onto a cave wall, leaving a heart-shaped mark where it slept. A Swoobat emits ultrasonic waves, shaking the rocks around it with the power of sound. A Drillbur digs through the soil at 30 miles per hour, faster than a car driving on the surface. An Excadrill forms a drill with its claws, boring through the iron hull of a subway train. An Audino touches a patient with its feelers, sensing their heartbeat to check their health. A Timbur carries a wooden log, helping construction workers build a new skyscraper. A Girder holds a steel beam, showing off its muscles to anyone watching. A Conkeldurr uses concrete pillars as walking canes, throwing them effortlessly in battle. A Timpole vibrates its cheeks, creating a ripple in the water to warn its friends. A Palpitoad lives in the water and on land, using its long tongue to catch prey. A seismitoad punches a boulder, the vibration shattering the rock into dust. A throw tightens its belt, throwing a larger opponent with perfect judo technique. A sock delivers a karate chop, its focus so intense that it doesn't hear anything else. A sewaddle chews a leaf using the leftovers to sew itself a set of clothes. A swadloon wraps itself in a blanket of leaves, preferring to stay in the dark. A Liavani weaves a dress from silk, acting like a mother to small Pokémon. A Venipede explores the forest floor, feeling the vibrations of prey with its antennae. A Whirlipede curls into a wheel, crashing into enemies like a spinning tire. A Scolipede rears up, plunging its toxic claws into the neck of its target. A Cottony rides the wind, drifting wherever the breeze decides to take it. A Whimsicott slips through a crack in the door, playing pranks and leaving cotton behind. A Petalil lives near clean water, the leaves on its head tasting bitter but healing the body. A Lilligant dances like a celebrity, its flower releasing a relaxing fragrance. A Basculin fights constantly with another school, risking its life over a stripe color. A Sandil hides in the desert sand, its black membrane eyes acting like sunglasses. A Krokorok hunts in a pack, ensuring the prey cannot escape the sand trap. A Crocodile clamps its jaws on a car, twisting its body to rip the metal apart. A Darumaka sleeps while standing, tucking its limbs inside its shell to stay safe. A Darmanitan punches with fire, destroying a dump truck with a single hit. A Maractus shakes its body rhythmically, using the sound of maracas to scare off birds. A Dwebble inspects a rock, carving out a hole to make a portable home. A Crustle carries a heavy sediment block, its legs strong enough to cross the desert. A Scraggy pulls its loose skin up like pants, headbutting anyone who laughs at it. A Scrafty spits acid at a foe, kicking them while they are distracted. A Sigilif patrols ancient ruins, using psychic powers to repel invaders. A Yamask carries a golden mask, crying as it remembers its life as a human. A Kofa Gregus pretends to be a coffin, trapping grave robbers inside its body forever. A Tortuga dives to depths of 1,000 meters, hunting specifically for ancient prey. A Caracosta slaps a tanker, its jaws strong enough to chew through the steel hull. An Archon tries to fly, but fails, running along the ground to get a gliding start. An Archeops runs at 25 miles per hour, taking flight only when it reaches top speed. A Trubbish follows a litter bug, loving the trash that others throw away. A Garbodor absorbs garbage into its body, smelling so bad that flowers wilt nearby. A Zorua transforms into a child, giggling as it tricks a silent stranger. A Zoroark creates a massive illusion, hiding its entire pack from human eyes. A Minccino obsesses over cleanliness, using its tail like a broom to sweep the dust. A Cinccino wraps itself in a scarf of white fur, deflecting attacks with the soft oil. A Gothita stares at something invisible, seeing a spirit that no one else can see. A Gothorita arranges stones, using star power to control the minds of sleeping people. A Gothitelle sees the end of the universe, crying because it knows the future cannot change. A Solosis floats in a green fluid, surviving in the vacuum of space. A Duotian divides its brain, thinking two different thoughts at the exact same time. A Reuniclus joins hands with others to form a network, amplifying its psychic power. A Ducklet struggles to fly, dipping underwater to eat peat moss. A Swanna performs a beautiful dance, attacking elegantly with a hurricane of feathers. A Vanillite sleeps in the snow, burying itself to keep its icy body from melting. A Vanillish freezes moisture in the air, creating tiny ice particles to hide. A Vanillux creates a blizzard, its two heads arguing over which way to blow the snow. A deerling changes its scent with the seasons, hiding in the tall grass. A sawsbuck migrates as the forest changes, the flowers on its antlers blooming in spring. An emolga glides from tree to tree, shocking a bird to steal its apple. A carablast spits acid to melt a shell, looking for a specific bug to attack. An escavalier flies at high speed, wearing the snail shell it stole as armor. A fungus looks exactly like a pokeball, releasing spores when someone tries to pick it up. A amoongus dances to lure prey, blowing toxic dust on anyone who gets too close. A frillish numbs its prey with poison, dragging them down to a lair 5 miles deep. A jellicent sinks a cruise ship, building a castle from the sunken remains. A lomomola heals an injured fish, wrapping it in a special slime membrane. A Joltik attaches to a larger Pokémon, sucking static electricity from its fur. A Galvantula sets an electric web trap, waiting for a bird to fly into the wires. A Pharaoh seed sticks to the cave wall, shooting spikes at anything that walks below. A Pharaoh thorn hangs from the ceiling, swinging its spiked tentacles to shatter rock. A Klink spins its 2 bodies, generating the energy needed to survive. A Klang rotates its gears at high speed, communicating with others by grinding metal. A Klinklang spins its red gear, generating enough energy to power a factory. A Tynamo swims in a school, discharging a weak electric current to deter predators. A Electric coils around its prey, shocking them before swallowing them whole. A Electros crawls out of the ocean, using its arms to hunt on the beach. A Elgium stands near a TV, causing a strange headache to anyone watching. A Beheim flashes its fingers, rewriting the memory of its opponent. A Litwick shines a light for a lost traveler, slowly draining their life force. A Lampent waits near a hospital, sensing when a spirit is about to leave the body. A Chandelure burns a purple flame, using spirits as fuel to keep the fire going. Axew sharpens its tusks on a rock, breaking them so they can grow back stronger. A Fracture fights endlessly, its tusks now sharp enough to cut through steel. A Haxorus swings its axe-like jaws, slicing a telephone pole in half with one hit. A Cubchoo sniffles constantly, the snot hanging from its nose acts as its power source. A Bertic swims in the freezing northern sea, its breath freezing the water instantly. A Cryogonal is born in a cloud, trapping its prey in chains made of ice. A Shelmet closes the lid of its shell, defending itself while waiting to evolve. An Axelgor sheds its heavy armor, moving like a ninja at invisible speeds. A Stunfisk buries itself in the mud, delivering a shock to anyone who steps on it. A Mienfoo chops a rock with its hand, training constantly to master its flow. A Mienshao uses the fur on its arms like a whip, striking with a snap sound. A Drudagon runs through a narrow cave, its rough skin grinding against the walls. A Golett burns energy inside its core, active for thousands of years without sleep. A Golurk retracts its legs, flying like a rocket at Mach speed to protect its master. A Pawniard sharpens its blades on a stone, ignoring its own injuries to win. A B-Sharp commands a group of Pawniard, mercilessly cutting down any who defy it. A Bouffalon charges headfirst, its afro absorbing the shock of a car crash. A Rufflet challenges a stronger opponent, fighting bravely to prove its strength. A Breviary fights for its friends, refusing to fly away even if it is injured. A Vullaby wears a skull like a diaper, chasing weak Pokémon to survive. A Mandibuzz circles the wasteland, looking for bones to decorate its nest. A Heatmore breathes fire through its tongue, melting the steel armor of an ant. A Durant attacks in a group, covering its body in steel to defend against the anteater. A Dano bumps into walls, biting everything to understand its surroundings. A Zwilus eats far too much, its two heads constantly fighting over the food. A Hydreigon attacks anything that moves, its three heads destroying the village. A Larvesta lives at the base of a volcano, surrounded by 5 torches of fire. A Volcarona scatters burning scales, replacing the sun in a dark, ash-filled sky. A Cobalion glares at a human, its presence alone enough to stop a war. A Terrakion smashes a castle wall, its physical strength the stuff of legends. A Veritzian moves like the wind, cutting down enemies with a swift blade of justice. A Tornadus flies at 200 miles per hour, its tail whipping up a storm that blows houses away. A Thundurus throws lightning bolts, leaving forest fires in its wake. A Reshiram flares its tail engine, ready to burn the world with the power of truth. A Zekrom generates an anti-gravity field, striking with the lightning of ideals. A Landorus punishes the other 2 genies, using the soil to bring a rich harvest. A Kurem waits in a frozen crater, an empty shell searching for its missing half. A Keldeo runs across the surface of the ocean, water shooting from its hooves. A Meloetta sings a song that manipulates emotions, keeping the audience in a trance. A Genesect locks onto a target, the cannon on its back modified by modern science.